I think a lot of the hard men in football, it's all down to their characters. You know, they're not just aggressive on the field, they're probably aggressive in every walks of life. You know, whether it's, you know, have an argument with a baker or have an argument with, you know, Tommy Smith or with the manager, you know. I think all these lads have been, I think they're always saying to themselves, you know, I'm not going to be pushed about. I'm going to have my peace. And then when you go out on a football field and you can do something about it, I think, you know, you've got 25, 30, 40,000 people watching you. And I think a lot of clubs, a lot of supporters, they look for that. Because they all want to be leaders themselves. I think everyone in the crowd, if there's 30,000 there, 30,000 people want to be leaders. They want to be the boss. You know, they don't want to be the T-boy.
Billy Bremner, captain and inspiration of Don Reevy's Leeds side in the 60s and early 70s, is hard man number 2. Like Vinne Jones, a hero at Elland Road.
Yeah, obviously a long time before I came into football, but being a player at Elland Road myself, you can still feel like the buzz of the bloke sort of 20 years on or 15 years on. People still talk about Billy Bremner as, you know, where we're going to put his statue in Leeds, what he done for us, you know. It wasn't just, I felt he never just led Leeds United Football Club. I think he like led the people at work, the people at home. They looked up to him. He was their leader. He was, you know, because in Leeds, football is life and death. You know, I mean, that's how I look upon football anyway. You know, there's nothing else. Well, there's money and there's football. If you haven't got money, you've got nothing. If I haven't got football, I haven't got nothing. Billy Bremner, as I say, he inspired people at work, in the factories, you know, right down to like very, very big and influential players at the time. And he was only a wee man, you know. Someone said to me once in Leeds, he was, you know, sort of 4.5 foot tall, but when he was out on the pitch, the way he went about and his mannerism, you'd think he was 10 foot tall. And I think that's very important.
Bremner played at the highest level for a sustained period of time and knew how to look after himself in the harshest of environments. The 1973 FA Cup final at Wembley against second division Sunderland isn't recalled in Leeds with too many fond memories, and Bremner had a tough tussle in midfield with the Sunderland goal-scoring hero that afternoon, Ian Porterfield. Bremner was never a player who'd come off second best very often, and he's proof that all great sides need some bite at the centre. Leeds' most productive seasons revolved around captain Bremner, and 2 examples here of how players of his ilk must be prepared to live and die by the sword. First, some rough stuff at Wembley against Liverpool, and then in 1972 against another red-haired midfield terrier, Alan Ball. Evidence that those with a reputation for midfield durability are often the target for their own type of medicine.
The only thing is, I think, if you're going to dish it out, you've got to be expected to take it back. You know, the little ones like treading on people's toes in the box and things like that. I mean, if you do that, you've got to expect a clump. As that ball's in the air and everyone's watching the ball, you've got to expect that lad to give you a clump, you know? Unless you're very cute and, you know, you're ducking and diving and that's part of your game.
The success of the Leeds squad throughout the 60s and 70s all came under Bremner's captaincy and the management of the late Don Reevy. He knew Bremner's qualities better than anyone.
He was quick, over 10 yards, he could see things out the back of his head, he could cut balls between people, he could lift games out of nothing, he could play 1-2s and set things off, and then you'd see him tackling back if you made a mistake or anybody else made a mistake. And he was one of the world's greatest players.
O'Grady. Jack Charlton, Bremner. Oh, beautiful goal! What a superlative goal by Bremner! Oh, what a wonderful goal by Bremner! Madeley back to Lorimer. And Bremner! It's there! What a lovely goal by Bremner! Again, the cool head of this little man. While all around him are bodies, Bremner finds the only hole.
Bremner on the field as a captain brings back visions of the Mackays and people long before that. He's the best captain the game's produced for 10 years. He's a better captain than Revie is a manager. And it can be argued that Don Revie is the best manager in the Football League. He is doing on the field what Don Revie does 7 days a week. And when they trot out of that tunnel on a Saturday, Billy's just carrying it on.
There could be no higher praise than that from old Big Ed himself, who arrived at Elland Road for his short spell just as Bremner's 17 years of fierce commitment to the Leeds cause was drawing to a close. In total, just under 600 league games throughout the most illustrious seasons in Leeds history. Years of confrontation at the very highest level, and years peppered with top-class achievement.
Osgood, Houseman, and Bremner. Bremner, what a player.
Yes, Billy Bremner, the second of our hard men, who grew accustomed to holding the odd trophy or two, and like Graham Souness, another whose list of triumphs makes impressive reading.